Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. We start out today with nuke waste and shock and awe. Andy's got the week off, so I've got the rundown. What does Andy keep up here? Anyway, on today's show, we're going to have an interesting discussion about nuclear waste and some people that say, hey, maybe it's good for the industry. We've got Joni Eastley and Trish Rippie here from Nye County. Plus, let's talk about the Middle East and the ramifications of the war in Iraq. David Coulson, a UNR professor, is here. And coming up on the Power Pundit panel, Jason Geddes, John Gwaltney, and Bob Crowell. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch a straight, dine at 8, lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1, have some fun, lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp, have a sip, try the pool, play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino, lucky you. Yeah!
In business, the key to success is not the quantity of your clients, it's the quality of your clients. Almost all companies will tell you they want more sales, but what they really need are quality customers who pay their bills on time. With Employer Link's client vendor screening program, we provide comprehensive reports regarding the financial performance of your corporate prospects, customers, and vendors. Build your business with great clients and vendors. Call Employer Links today at 883-3733.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Andy Engelman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
And welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. We're joined in this first segment by Joni Eastley. She's a Nye County Commissioner, and Trish Rippie. She's a Nye County Economic Development member.
Yes.
Okay, welcome, ladies, both of you. Let's start out with, I guess, the thing that's on most people's minds. For the last 20 years, I've been doing interviews with politicians in the state who have said, no nuclear waste, no nuke dump, we don't want it, it's not going to happen. A week or so ago, we have the Energy Department releasing routes that will come close to Tonopah as far as delivering nuclear waste. Are you for it or against it?
Well, Sam, I think that the storage of the country's high-level nuclear waste at Yucca Mountain, which is located in Nye County, is inevitable. I think that that is absolutely going to happen.
And what should we be doing about it?
Well, we should be, first and foremost, protecting the safety, the health, and the welfare of our citizens.
All right, let's get down to brass tacks here. Will it benefit Nye County economically if the nuclear waste comes to the Yucca Mountain?
Well, so far, Sam, it has benefited Nye County to have the studies performed on whether or not nuclear waste should be stored at Yucca Mountain. Nye County has been very successful at negotiating with the Department of Energy for some substantial benefits to the county.
In what way?
Predominantly financially. We have approximately $30 million in 4 different endowment funds that we're using to benefit Nye County citizens. And this year, Chairman Henry Neff and I successfully negotiated with the Department of Energy for an additional $56 million worth of financial benefits over the next 5-year period.
And what is this in exchange for?
This is in exchange for nothing. These are required payments through the Nuclear Waste Policy Act.
Okay, so Nye County's sitting pretty as far as cash in the bank.
We're doing pretty well.
Okay, Trish, you know, you're in the real estate business.
Yes.
How does that go when you want to sell real estate and people say, well, Yucca Mountain's just up the street here?
We don't have any, there's no impact on Tonopah or Goldfield or the areas that I cover because the waste repository is 120 miles away. We see the possibility of an economic benefit. I think most everybody saw the routes in the paper last week that it proposed rail routes for bringing the waste in. Those routes should be used for multi-purpose, where there could be private use of the rail. Tonopah and Goldfield haven't had rail service for many years, and that could be a possible means for us to get some kind of economy going, some new industry in with the rail. We look at the benefits, like Joni, I think it's inevitable that it's going to come, and we should be getting as much benefit from it as possible.
One of the things, you and I talked on the phone a couple of weeks ago, one of the things that bothered me in our conversation was the way that there are workers being flown into Tonopah to work at the base there, the air base, and coming in to work at Yucca Mountain and being flown out. They don't stay in Tonopah. They're not part of the community. How do you feel about that?
That doesn't make me feel good, frankly. As we spoke on the phone, I feel that Nye County has been a patriotic host to many of the government's activities in our county. Not a lot of people are aware of this, but 98% of the land in Nye County is owned, managed, or controlled by the federal government. That leaves only 2% of the available land in private hands. And we would certainly hope that the government would be a more willing partner with Nye County to help improve our tax base.
Well, what do you think happens here? Because all the business is obviously going to Las Vegas, correct?
It's political clout. And just from a personal standpoint, you were talking about the benefits of Yucca Mountain. Beatty is the host town to Yucca Mountain. It's only 35 miles from Yucca Mountain. I have apartments in Beatty. When they started work at Yucca Mountain, I had tenants move out of Beatty and move to Las Vegas, which is over 70 miles away, because if they lived in Las Vegas, they could ride the subsidized bus. And that's what they continually do. They provide subsidies for people to live in Las Vegas, where if they live in the actual host communities, they're on their own, and it stacks the deck against the rural areas. I think it's strictly a matter of political clout. In the rural areas, we don't have much political clout, and we don't get much benefit.
Okay, Joni, do you see any time in the future that any member of our congressional delegation will turn around and take your position on this?
No. No, I don't see that happening. In the past, even Nye County's position has been one of, if you want to use the phrase aggressive neutrality, we've really been aggressively neutral on the issue of nuclear waste. But now that the president has decided that that's exactly where the nation's high-level waste is going to be stored, we are stepping up our actions to protect our citizens, to protect our communities, and to negotiate for better benefits.
Okay, when you say protect your citizens and protect your communities, in what way?
Nye County has developed a community protection plan that we hope will be adopted. It addresses such things as transportation and storage.
Okay, and in what way does that manifest itself?
Through an actual printed document.
Okay, but I mean, you're looking at emergency management services?
Yes, we are. We're looking at
And we do have the early warning drilling program.
Right.
They do a lot of exploratory drilling to see the water movement, that if there's nuclear waste residue in the soil, how the water movement is.
Okay, let me ask you one last quick question. We only have about 15 seconds here. As far as Tonopah is concerned, how's business?
It's pretty low right now. We're looking to build our tourism economy and making Tonopah a good resort destination. Or we have the Tonopah Mining Park, which is really receiving a lot of attention. Joni's on that board. She could probably tell you more if we had time.
And we're out of time, but we'd love to have you ladies back.
We'd love to
Thank you
come
so
back.
much for a different opinion. We're right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this time out.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch. Atlantis.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
I ordered this beef broccoli here at Harris Buffet in Reno, and it was here in less than 60 seconds. What's up with that, Dave?
Sam, that's one of 20 dishes that we guarantee fast, guarantee fresh, made to order 7 days a week at Harris Reno's Buffet.
And I understand that just for this month, a 2-for-1 special just by showing your Nevada ID.
That's correct. We want to invite all of our Nevada residents to come down and experience this great buffet. We guarantee you a fresh, quality meal.
It's fast, it's delicious, and it's 2-for-1 at Harris Buffet.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Sikh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Andy Engelman.
David Coulson is a UNR professor. He's also president of the Arab United States Association for Communication Educators, which means he knows a lot about the Middle East. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Sam. Glad to be here.
Pleasure to have you. You know, it has been fascinating to me to watch the Middle East over the last couple of weeks. You know, we've captured Saddam Hussein. We've taken over the country of Iraq. And all of a sudden, people who were in solidly locked positions are suddenly talking about wanting to negotiate. Syrian president wants to negotiate. He says he's not the bad guy that we think he is. We're looking at situations here all around the Middle East. Libya saying, you know, we want to be part of the community. They're paying off their debts to the plane crash that happened many years ago, and they want to be part of the world community. Over and over again throughout the Middle East, we're seeing this. Does this surprise you?
You know, it really doesn't surprise me in the sense that, for example, we have members of our association that from Syria, and so we're constantly talking with them about the situation in their country and throughout the Middle East. And it does not surprise me in the sense that the Bush's move into Iraq was a very bold strategic move. And I think that whether we agree or not with the politics of our involvement in the Middle East, or sorry, within Iraq, we do need to understand that the status quo in the Middle East has to change. And that years of negotiation have not brought about change. And by moving into Iraq, Iraq probably, more than any other country in the Middle East, offers the greatest chance for democracy. And that's because before Saddam Hussein took over Iraq, it was a prosperous country. The Iraqis are well educated. It's a secular society. And so therefore, that society has a possibility more than some countries in the Middle East of actually becoming democratic.
But, you know, democracy does not necessarily mean good things for the United States, because a lot of the countries are propped up by dictators who rule with an iron fist, and their populations would love to get rid of them. The Saudis, for example, the Syrians, the Palestinians in Jordan, who I believe are pretty close to being the majority in that country.
They're 80% of the population, 70 to 80% of the population.
So they are the majority at this point. In Egypt, the same story. So democracy would not necessarily be a good thing for the United States. Wouldn't it cause even greater turmoil?
It might cause greater turmoil, but at the same time, what has to develop in the Middle East is there has to be an opportunity for a population, that 2/3 of the population in the Middle East is under the age of 25. it's what we can call a baby hydrogen bomb. There's not enough people that are trained in the Middle East to educate this young population. The governments in the Middle East either they don't have the ability, the resources, or are unwilling to provide the services necessary for their people, and particularly with regard to educating this young population. And also in the Middle East, the way that people learn, students are taught, is by route. And what needs to happen in the Middle East is there needs to be better educated people who can teach the young Middle Eastern population to think critically. And until they can think critically, there's not going to be opportunity for change in the Middle East.
Okay, you were just in Dubai.
Yes.
And you say Dubai is a whole different ballgame.
It is. It's really an anomaly in the Middle East. It's a high-tech oasis in a region that's been long fractured by political and religious extremism. And what you have there, they're open to they embrace capitalism. They have a very attractive tax system that major corporations are setting up in Dubai, as far as Dubai being their headquarters. And it's an absolute monarchy, but it's a dynamic monarchy, and the people there have much greater freedoms than much of the Middle East. For example, women have the same legal and educational rights as do men. And as far as veiling and so forth, that's really a personal preference. About half the population dresses traditionally, about half is Western.
We got less than 30 seconds.
Right.
In the old days, one of the main reasons that the first Bush administration did not take Iraq completely down and take Hussein out was that it was supposed to be a balance between Iran and Iraq, that way the power structure remained solid. Now Iraq is no more. Suddenly Iran is saying, hey, come inspect us for nuclear weapons. What does that say to you, briefly?
It says that the dynamics of the Middle East have changed. And I think that this is what has to happen for there to be any chance of better relations between the United States and the Middle East.
And we're out of time. Thank you so much for being here,
Thank you.
David. Appreciate it. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Your home is an expression of all things comforting and familiar. For custom storage, you can count on California Closets to provide quality, value, and design integrity. The process is easy, combining your personal style with our organizing expertise. We care about what matters most to you, making your home functional and beautiful. California Closets, simplifying home and life since 1978. Call today for your complimentary design consultation.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Andy Engelman.
And Andy's got the day off today, and we're joined by our Power Pundit panel here today with Who's laughing there? John Gwaltney, who's a school board member.
Happy New Year.
Jason Geddes, who's an assemblyman, and Bob Crowell, who's an attorney and a school board official down in Carson City. Let's start out with this Nye County deal. So Nye County, over the next 5 years, will have a total of $86 million in funds from the nuclear energy industry and the federal government. Is this a good thing, Jason, or a bad thing?
It may be good for Nye County, but I think it's a bad thing overall. I still think we've got a great case going forward against the federal government. And the one thing that we've learned through the years since Bullfrog County is the DOE hasn't been true to its word in any dealings on nuclear waste with Nevada. And any carrot they dangle out there, like they're dangling out for Nye County, we don't know if it's going to be there a year from now. They tend to cut back on their promises significantly.
You know, I agree with what Jason just said about Nye County, but I have to tell you, I was born in Tonopah. I'm a native of Nye County, and I have actually witnessed the last above-ground nuclear tests, and so I kind of have mixed emotions about storing nuclear waste in Nevada, because I've actually seen them go off there. And so I think that from Tonopah's standpoint, you know, those folks need all the help they can get. And I would just hope that the federal government, if they're going to promise things, backs up their promise.
Well, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No.
Well, I would agree with what the representative said, though, in a sense. They have a serious need, and maybe the state needs to take a little more look at how to help them satisfy that, especially if we want them to oppose or turn down such a generous gesture.
Yeah.
Even if it's temporary, it's kind of nice, at least for them.
Well, I agree entirely. I grew up in Gabbs in Nye County, and the rural situation is in dire straits.
Yes.
And they're looking for anything to help their economy. And even if you look at the last sales numbers, rural counties were down while all the rest of the state was up 12%. Yeah. And they desperately need help out there, and the state needs to look at it and focus on it. And it is hard to get Clark County legislators to look at it.
Well, don't you think it's a little outrageous that that folks have to move from Beatty to Las Vegas to be able to get to ride the free bus to go back into Nye County? Shouldn't there be some kind of law passed here?
I don't know if it's a law passed, but you know, I think Joni Eastley said it correctly. You know, Nye County's been a very good patriotic host. And I think the time has come to end shipping people in there. Let's have people come live there. Let's become part of the community. And I think, you know, that's the first I'd heard, you know, that from you that that we were actually busing people in there as opposed to having them live in the community.
Busing and flying. Busing
and flying. They ought to be living there. I mean, that's the first step towards being a good neighbor and a good community citizen. Bring your people in there. Go ahead.
It is very much so, and just the one thing I'd add on there is we need to look at the healthcare system that is available out there. We tend to get a lot of people moving into Vegas and out of the rurals because of healthcare. Pahrump needs a hospital. The Tonopah Hospital needs to be upgraded. Beatty needs some medical services. You need to make sure that the community can support the people that are there, and we need to make sure that that's possible.
Well, with the healthcare, Jason, I also want to say that education is extremely difficult to maintain, and not that they haven't done a great job in some of the rural areas. They have done a great job providing the options that those children need in those areas with long geographic distances for busing and so on. It's not only expensive, it's fatiguing to carry out. So I think healthcare is good, and education equally good, I think.
Very much so. I mean, you look at Gabbs, its economy has gone down since the mines closed.
Right.
And it's down to just over 200 people, and they were actually looking at closing down the school and busing those kids to Tonopah, 110 miles each way every day.
This is not a good thing.
Not a good thing.
Oh, okay, one last, and I'm going to leave you out of this, Jason, because you're an elected official, and I already know what your position is going to be. But isn't there a sense of inevitability when they're actually putting out the railroad lines and making the plans that, you know, we have 2 senators, there are 98 that would vote in favor of nuclear waste coming to Nevada?
There is a sense of inevitability. I mean, when you have the weight of the federal government pushing down on your back to take an action in your state, there is definitely a sense of inevitability. But I think that, you know, our state has taken a position, whether you agree with it or not, our state has taken a position that we ought to fight that to the end. And I think from that standpoint, we have to be as citizens, we have to back up our leaders and our Attorney General in taking on this fight.
But down in Southern Nevada, we are taking a lot of money into the university system for research on this project.
That's certainly
millions
true.
and millions of dollars.
There's nothing wrong with taking money for research. I've been in favor of that for 25 years. So Sam, I think it's a great idea to do that. However, very, very quickly, the question, I think, I agree with Bob in the sense that you fight them right to the door. Why? Two reasons. Even if it is inevitable, it tightens up security on this issue every single step. The more you fight them, the more you convince them they have to back up system after system with security, that this will not be a problem in the future. There's different levels of security, and I want the very best level of security for Nevada if we have to give up. The second one is, at some point, maybe we have to make the deal, but I don't think $86 million is enough.
Well, that's just for 9 County, and that's
I understand.
half of what the budget gap is this year.
Yeah.
Last quick question. We're less than a minute here. Just a quick run around the table here. Anybody getting emails from anybody that's running for elected office this year? Are you on an email list? Is the internet being worked into?
Well, I'm watching email lists of all the presidential candidates just to watch how they're using the internet, and I'm getting a lot of them, a lot of emails. I haven't gotten any from any of the local folks, but I'm in on the national level. There's a lot of them, and it's a phenomenal way that they're using the internet in terms of getting the messages out. I mean, I get 1 or 2 a day from, and I subscribe to every candidate just to get that, to find what they're doing.
I think the Republicans locally have done a better job than the Democrats have. Nationally, I think the Democrats have done a better job than Republicans.
Okay.
It's a vital part. You'll see every candidate with a web page and an email list.
Okay, thanks for being here, guys. We're out of time. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this. It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best. I ordered this beef broccoli here at Harris Buffet in Reno, and it was here in less than 60 seconds. What's up with that, Dave?
Sam, that's one of 20 dishes that we guarantee fast, guarantee fresh, made to order 7 days a week at Harris Reno's Buffet.
And I understand that just for this month, a 2-for-1 special just by showing your Nevada ID.
That's correct. We want to invite all of our Nevada residents to come down and experience this great buffet. We guarantee you a fresh, quality meal.
It's fast, it's delicious, and it's 2-for-1 at Harris Buffet.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch. Atlantis.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
And coming up on tomorrow's show, Dennis Nylander will be here. He's head of the Gaming Control Board, and David Miller representing the hotel-motel industry in Northern Nevada. Thanks for being here, folks.